Can't really tell my hair's doing the Oswald Cobblepot thing again. Who's good potato spin the leak here? And this time around, Ju-On, White Ghost. Creepy old lady with a basketball. Now that's what I'm talking about. Anyway, like I said, from here on, it branches off into different grudges. Each one has kind of its own creativity. This one is creative in the fact that it created itself. Let that set in. We talked previously how the curses really don't fall under a specific time frame other than after the event happens. But, at the same time, the curse can have an effect that even happens before the person becomes infected with the curse. So let's say my wrist right here is the actual point where they come down with the curse. It could start here, and they could quickly die off, or it could start all the way at the elbow and slowly work up to the point where they actually come into contact with the curse and then get killed. This one created itself. So, the curse was already in place while the person who would later become the embodiment of this grudge was still alive. Granted, she was the senile old lady who tried to molest her grandson and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, upon moving into this house that seemed to already be cursed, that didn't really have any force to it, the uncle of this new family that moved in started to slowly change and eventually build up to murdering his entire family. It takes a while to build up to that, but stick with me here. Upon entering the house, you see the embodiment of the grudge, which is actually the grandmother of the family who is going to be living with them, who is always hugging the uncle's basketball. The ghost always appears holding the basketball. Just fucking creepy. Like, whenever I first saw this movie, I couldn't take that seriously. But let me tell you, after finishing it that first time, if I saw a basketball roll down a hallway, I was fucking out! But yeah, no, that's one thing about these grudge movies that I love. No matter how far-fetched it gets, it is still fucking scary. Now this one goes hand in hand with the next one I'm going to be watching, which is Black Girls, or Little Girl in Black. These are actually basically part of the same feature, if you watch them in the right order. But, the cinematography changed a little bit in this one. They spent less time playing around with your mind in the way of what you were able to see. They decided to fuck with you by cursing people that didn't actually come into contact with the curse. This one focused mostly on cursed objects. Now, we've seen plenty of this, but we never really discussed it. The house itself is a cursed object. Everything in the house, the Sekai house, is a cursed object. But that kind of carries on. In order to get these objects, you have to initially become cursed, or some of them are related to curses. For example, if someone with the curse records a tape of them dying, or in the house, or on the property, or anything near that, anyone who comes into contact, or wherever this object is at risk of becoming cursed. Let's say an example of Kayako's book. Anyone holding that would be cursed. Anyone watching footage of Kayako doing something would be cursed. So, I guess I'm dying soon. Cursed objects are no fucking laughing matter, and a lot of these are cursed even before they are created, which is fucking weird. Like I said, this time frame is literally all over the place. The curse is so powerful that it goes back to before it was even conceived. And that is really the scariest part of it. Like, what do? You're already cursed because you're destined to be cursed, and this is already cursed, but it fell into your lap even though you haven't gone anywhere near it, had nothing to do with it, but it's there. By circumstance. It's fucking scary, but like I said, the cinematography changed a little bit. They didn't focus so much on what's in the foreground and background. They decided to use these objects to kind of twist your mind a little bit. For example, the basketball is a cursed object. The grandmother loved playing with it. The uncle that murdered his family always fucking used it. It belonged to him. The ghost is holding it because, well, first of all, she died holding it. Second of all, that must be the source of her manifestation. You know, that's something that seems comical, but when you think about how insignificant that item seems, and the damage that comes with it, holy fuck. This one will have you walking back and forth, like, just repeating, I'm okay, it's fine, Nothing can hurt me. Nothing can hurt me. Then bam! Right in the center of the head with a fucking sledgehammer. I love how these movies will go from 0 to 100. Like, it seems like they sit in the same formula, almost. And then they just take off with something that you weren't expecting. And they work with it. I love every little bit of that. Now, this next movie, a lot of this is going to come together. The curse objects, the time manipulation, and just the curse in general. I think this is actually going to take us back to Kayako, which means during this next film... Well, actually, no. I'll talk about it after the Americanized films, because those, even though they're not completely canon, might fit into my theory, might not. I'm just looking for positive reinforcement before I go and present this to you guys. Find people out there that totally don't pick stuff apart, just shit on it. Anyway, I'm going to give this movie 3.5 potatoes. The story wasn't too crazy. It did hit you with a lot of twists and turns. It didn't quite get as many scares, and while some things would become scary later on, up until you realize how scary they are comical. So, honestly, it was still an awesome Grudge movie, and was still creepy as fuck, as Grudge movies get. But there are those points of lightheartedness in between, and they actually presented the franchise with a character that survived a grudge, that was forgiven. This is unique in a specific aspect, especially since this grudge has nothing to do with Kayako or Toshio. So it's possible for grudges to pick survivors. This one was a childhood friend of one of the victims of the uncle killing the entire family. But yeah, a survivor in a grudge film is like... It's like a slasher film without boobs. I'll put it that way. I'll simplify it in that way. Actually, there's a lot of slasher films without boobs. I'll put it this way. It's like a musical without kind of a singular inner monologue that would probably become the most popular song in the entire movie. There we go. That's a bit better. Have you seen this movie? What are your thoughts on it? Post all that in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe. Keep on keeping on. I'll see you in another video.